Hello everyone, welcome to a slightly different Q&A ahead of game week 38. It's slightly different because there's not just Sam and I, or Gianni and I, there's all three of us, all three of the Q&A people. And I can't remember ever seeing you two on a stream before. Have you ever done one before, you two?
I've done a couple with Lee where Sam's come in to say hello when we used to do watch-alongs.
Yeah.
I don't know if Sam and I have ever done a stream though. That's really weird because I've watched Sam on lots of streams, so I feel like
we've done the FPL show together.
I've done the FPL show together a few times, haven't we? A fair few times.
I don't think we've ever streamed together.
There you go. It's
first time.
Perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. So this is the final Q&A of this season. I know, crazy times. As always, well, I say as always, but the last few weeks, any money raised through Superchats basically means your question will definitely be answered, and all the money raised will go to Street Child United, in which Gianni is a big part of. Gianni, do you want to just give a bit of a rundown as to what Street Child United is and what the Superchats can sort of contribute to the cause?
Yeah, thanks, Az. It's great coming on this stream because for once, when I stream with you midweek for my team reveal, I have to take it in my lunch hour or move meetings around. But for this one, I can actually put it in my work diary and go,
yeah,
I'm busy. I'm doing something for work, Street Child United here, where I do work as well as obviously do FPL stuff on the side. So yeah, it's a very small charity based in the UK, but we organised something called Street Child World Cups. So before the FIFA World Cup, we go to the same country and we organise a World Cup for street children. And these kids are living and working on the street, and they will come to Qatar in October this year from 24 countries around the world, countries you might expect where there are lots of street children, and spend 12 days with us taking part in the most unbelievable event, campaigning for their rights, getting huge amounts of press coverage, and hopefully changing their lives and their peers' lives for the better. So it's a cool charity, and I'm delighted that I can kind of get Street Child United on the FPL radar. And in the last kind of 12 months or so, we've started to try and do that. And I was very conscious a few years back that I didn't want to insist that everyone knows about Street Child United and does stuff. But gradually we're getting more and more known, which is brilliant. And I would love to be seen as the charity of choice for the FPL community. And I feel like we're starting to get there, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's absolutely awesome. Yeah, so just to reiterate, any money raised from Super Chats in this stream will go to that charity. We've already raised a few £100, I think, over the last few weeks for that, which is great. Awesome. And your questions will definitely be answered ahead of Gameweek 38, or you can just give some money and that will go straight in and you've done your good deed for the day. So it'd be great, if we can. I think we got about £70 or something last week, Sam.
Yeah, we've had a really great couple of weeks, haven't we, with raising money through Super Chat. So let's see if we can beat it today with the final one of the season.
Come on, it's the final one. All three of us are here. If you want to tag one of us in your comments, if you want a specific person to answer it, if you just want to laugh at Gianni for whatever reason, there's plenty of things to pick on.
He's looking lovely today, Gianni. Don't just ignore him.
He always looks lovely. It's horrible doing these bloody streams with him. It's always me looking like the ugly stepsister.
You've still got your makeup on from last night, as by the looks of
it. She was doing my makeup yesterday for the FPL show, and she was like, "Oh, you've been in the sun, haven't you?" And I was like, "Oh, why is that?" She's like, "Your nose is very red." I was like, "Oh,
do you have to have it, patted down a bit before you had your foundation put on?"
I didn't realise how red I was on the nose. So I had been in the sun.
Bit of concealer.
I know it's a godsend, that stuff. I'm gonna miss. I'm not having that over the summer. Suleiman Rana is our first super chat of the day. The question is, what would you do here? The team is Michael James, Trent, Cancelo, and Alonso. Salah, Foden, Saka, Maddison, and Kane. Sounds pretty good to me. And then Foster, Gordon, Tsimikas, and Gelhardt on the bench. So here's the big question. I imagine there's going to be a lot of people debating this. Would you do Salah to Son? Would you do Salah and... Oh, sorry, I missed Jesus. Salah and Jesus to Vardy and Son. So would you do Jesus to Vardy for a hit, essentially, and the first one? Or would you do Salah and Saka to Son and Diaz? Or would you do nothing? Just leave Salah. I'm going to come to you first, Gianni, because I know what Sam's going to say about Son.
Do we know if we don't know if Suleiman's got 2 frees or just one? Oh, he's only got one.
He's got one
for a 4-point hit. Because I like option C a lot. I think Diaz is a really nice option. So Son and Diaz in, but I don't know if I'd be taking a 4-point hit. So then option A is the sensible option, isn't it? I wouldn't be selling Jesus to Vardy on a hit. I think Jesus.
Really?
Yeah, I think Jesus could start, and I still think City can score big in any given game if they score early. So, I mean, Son. Are we transferring Salah out to Son? Almost certainly.
I think B is by far my favourite of those.
Yeah?
Salah and Jesus to Vardy and Son. I love that. I think Son and Vardy are two of the main picks I think can go big this week. And Jesus, like, who knows if he's going to start? I wouldn't be surprised for it to be Foden, Mahrez and Sterling as that front three.
Me neither.
Jesus missed out altogether. And it's Villa. I don't think City score loads of goals. They share the points around. Vardy against Southampton's high line, have given up. I love B. I think, selling Salah to Son gives you that extra bit of money to go up to Vardy. So my vote is B. Sam, which one do you like?
Oh, decisions. I agree with you, as I would do the Jesus move as well. I think Salah to Son is an absolute no-brainer. And I think if you're ever going to take a punt on a player on the final game week of the season, Jamie Vardy against a lacklustre Southampton team could be an absolute genius move. So I would take the -4 for that. I just don't think you can guarantee the minutes for Jesus in that game. I think he could easily not play and therefore go with Vardy.
So 2 Bs and an A, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I think game week 38 last season, Jesus, did he get a hat-trick from memory? Just throwing it out.
Can't see him hat-tricking against Aston Villa. Can't see. They share the goals around. Is he even playing? Oh, I don't know. It's the pet roulette again, isn't it?
Yeah, I must admit, I'm 50-50 if he starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're outruled. You're overvoted anyway. So we vote to go for B, Suleiman. Hello everyone in the chat. Nice, the viewers got 250 in the chat, so that's increasing. Only one other super chat so far, so get those in and we'll answer those. Dread FPL, Gianni in the house.
Love that. Thanks, Dread.
Delia M, what a lovely trio. That's nice. FPL Timbers dream team. Let's go. Lovely. Moshe, did you get Zoom Premium this time? I hope so.
Don't get choked off again, you two.
Oh, did you see that the other day? Bloody Joe signed on to the account. I was doing the. Oh, you were doing the stream with me, Gianni. You would obviously have seen it because it happened, didn't it?
You text me saying, "What have you done this time, Gianni?" And I was like, "I've done nothing."
How do you blame Gianni for it?
Yeah, well, when anything technical goes wrong, it's easy just to go for Gianni. Yeah, even though it's normally my problem. Greg Frost, good luck in Gameweek 38 as Sam and Gianni. Bruno as Boom. Oh yeah, the Bruno Gomes.
You and Bruno, it's like a love affair.
It is. I love that man. Him and Maddison. It's really hard to know who I actually love more. Mr. Clark, has any plans to produce Mark on Black Box? Great show. Would be better with 2 top managers rather than 1.
Oh, savage.
Oh, ouch. Screenshot that and sent that to him. I like that. Sam sent a super chat in. I'm guessing not the Sam that we're on the stream with. That would be a bit weird.
It wasn't me.
James and Barnes or Mount or Diaz and Sessegnon. Okay, let's break this down. So James and Barnes, that sounds pretty good. Or would you go for Mount? Okay, let's first question, Mount or Diaz? Because I think it's fairly clear which one I'd favour. Both good options, but one I'd favour. Gianni?
I'm a big fanboy of both these players, and they're both in various teams of mine. But I will definitely, if given the choice, would go Mount because he's a flat track bully against weak opposition, and he's been rested.
Sam, agree with that?
100%.
Yeah, I think that's a fairly easy one. I think Diaz is a great player, but he's got the Champions League final. They've got like 5 attacking options in that team. He could easily play 50, 60 minutes in that game.
Yeah. And probably will.
And get subbed off. And probably will, exactly. Yeah. Mount has just had the rest. He gets 90. He's playing one of the worst teams in the league. That's a no-brainer. So I think the choice here then is James and Barnes or Mount and Sessegnon.
That's
Mount
a hard
and Sessegnon.
one.
Mount and Sessegnon for me.
Mount and Sessegnon for Sam. Gianni?
I think I'd say the same because I'm not sure Reece James starts. I'm not sure Alonso or Reece James starts. Seeing Tuchel's comments last night, I'm not too sure. Barnes, we know will start. He was rested midweek. Barnes.
Well, do we?
Well, he should do. He should. He usually starts at the back of the rest.
The thing was, though, that it wasn't really a rest for Barnes against Chelsea.
It was tactical.
It was a tactical. It was a change in system. It's the main reason why I sold him. Because if he chooses to play with Iheanacho and Vardy, there's no room for Barnes in the side. So my guess would be he starts and he goes back to the team that played against Watford. But you never really know with it.
Thing is, you do know with Sessegnon and Mount that they're going to play. And Sessegnon should clean sheet against Norwich. Plus, it's, Spurs... They need to get a point out of the game if they're going to get Champions League football next season. Sessegnon's going to be down the wings all the time. In behind that dodgy Norwich defence, he could easily get some attacking returns. It would be an easy pick for me to have Mount and Sess over James and Barnes.
I really, really like the James pick if he plays. There's obviously going to be some risk whether he does. Tuchel's comments have suggested he's going to play, some kids and a weakened team. My guess would be that James still starts in that match, but it's kind of hard to predict. But I think Mount and Sessegnon is safer. They've got great fixtures. There's no reason to risk it out of those two. I think that's a fairly easy decision.
Yeah, I can't believe Sessegnon's like 4.3 as well. Like next season, Sessegnon's going to be one of the if Spurs don't sign a left wing back. And Sessegnon has a good pre-season over Reguilon. I can't wait to have Sessegnon in my team next year because I think he'll be priced at like 4.5 still because he's not had many FPL points and he was so cheap to start this season. I don't think he'll see a big price increase. So if he's a starter next year, he'll be definitely one to have an eye on.
Do you want to hear something interesting?
Don't tell me what I've just been tagged in because if Spurs have genuinely got food poisoning again, I'm going to lose the plot.
No way.
Gary Lineker has just tweeted saying, hearing there's a food poisoning outbreak at Spurs, and no, I am not joking.
Genuinely, if this happens again, I am going to lose my mind.
Don't transfer Son in yet, everyone. Wait until Sunday till you make those transfers.
I mean, it is Friday. If they've got food poisoning today, they better be all right.
I mean, the problem is that if the entire of Spurs' first team got food poisoning, they'd probably still win. Even if they played the players with food poisoning and they were just throwing up, they'd still beat Norwich. And secondly, even if they played the second string team, they'd probably still beat Norwich. So, yeah.
It doesn't help you in FPL though, does it?
Well, no, it doesn't at all because it creates some question marks around the lineup. And there's no, if he's got a player, like look at Kulusevski, right? Kulusevski was a little bit ill going into that Burnley match, and they played Lucas Moura instead, and he came off the bench. So, that is one to monitor. Hopefully, I'm doing team news with Neil at 3. Hopefully, we'll get some news on that. But yeah, that is very interesting.
Spurs. Why? Why?
So Spurs, isn't it?
Oh, we're going to be on those training photos later tonight, aren't we? Our Friday night's going to be going through the Spurs website, seeing who was actually in training.
Oh, God. It's going to be one of those weekends, isn't it? Where getting the microscope out to... microscope?
Man.
That was cool. Little thing. Microscope? Is it a microscope? Yeah.
Or telescope.
Oh, what do you mean? What are you looking at it under?
Under
a telescope?
What did detective use to...
Magnifying glass.
Magnifying glass. That's what I meant. But you can say under the microscope. That's a saying. Am I all right? I don't know if I'm all right.
I don't know if you got food poisoning.
I was doing the FPL show till 2:00 in the morning. I've really lost my mind.
Did you go live at 11:30 last night instead of 11?
11:30. Yeah, it was a late one, but yeah, it was a really good one. I really enjoyed it. Stephen Harker, this isn't a super chat, but it's a nice question. We've had loads of super chats come in, so yeah, keep them coming. I promise we will answer every single one that comes in. Stephen Harker asked, so for all, favourite ever final game week punt? What a question that is. Sam,
I had a lot.
Go on, Gianni. Any good memories?
Let's give Sam a little bit more time because this is a hard question, but straight away I had one. Not last season, the season before, I was 16 points below Toby in our mini leagues. I took a minus 16 point hit to try and match him to get all the players I knew that could hurt me, and went for Alonso, who scored a free kick against Wolves, which got Chelsea Champions League football, Wolves not Champions League football, and Alonso got 12 points. And I ended up beating Toby in my mini league because of it. So that was definitely one. I
love that. Yeah. Sam, any
not when we had food poisoning, let's put it that way. Project Restart Gameweek 38 was my favourite from an FPL perspective. I had a free hit that year as well, and it was the best free hit I've ever played. So that is kind of why I've held this one so long. Yeah, I mean, there's always moments, isn't there? Kane always in game week 38 is generally my go-to. His record in game week 38 is ludicrous. So yeah, game week 38 with a non-food poisoned Harry Kane.
Would you captain him, Sam, over Son? Would you consider that this game week? If
really
you own
close.
both?
Yeah, for me, it's a really tight decision. It's not as straight laced as captain Son. I think, you look at Kane's record in the last, so in the last 4 game week 38, hang on, I've written this stat down because I had it from earlier. So the last 4 game week 38s, he has had 7 goals, 48 points. He's got 10, 9, 12 and 17 points. He's also got 5 goals from 4 Premier League games against Norwich, averages 9 points per match against them. Like, it's definitely not as straightforward as you captain Son. There's definitely scope for captaining Kane. I think Son has other things in his favour, the race for the Golden Boot, but Kane has his own races for catching up with records, goal scoring records and that kind of thing. So it's not as straight laced as one. I think the Golden Boot thing will tip me, plus the extra points for midfielders will end up tipping me onto Son, but I'm very tempted to captain Kane.
Yeah, interesting. Just for me, just on that question, my fondest ever game week 38 moment is either the Leicester Spurs game when I had Kane captain and he got 2 goals. I also had Vardy and he got 2 goals as well. Then that pushed me, I think, from 2k to into the top 1k, which was my highest ever finish, 800th. So that was good. My other fondest memory, though, weirdly, is involves Jeffrey Schlupp, which is why I love FPL, because why on earth would you? Who else has a fond memory of Jeffrey Schlupp like that? But I was neck and neck with someone in a mini league, and the first place prize was about £600-700. This was back when you could
we were allowed to bet.
We were allowed to bet, yeah. And he got an assist in like the 90th minute and won me the cash league.
So he was at Leicester. That was probably as a Leicester player, was it? He was probably at Leicester then.
Yeah, that was the year they, when they nearly got relegated and they went on that crazy run. The year before they won the.
So he was listed as a defender.
He was a defender. Yeah, I had him. And his assist won me that league. I mean, obviously I had other players who came in, but I credit Schlupp with that success. No name on this one, but it's Brentwood boy, where I'm originally from. Worley, I've got 2 stories about Worley, actually. Firstly, I learned to ski in Worley. They've got a dry
slope.
Yeah, so I learned to ski there. Secondly, I worked at a restaurant there when I was at uni, and I got sacked after 2 weeks.
What'd you do?
I refused to. They were asked me to take out some plates for the people, and they were boiling hot because they'd been under the heater thing, and I was like, I can't pick them up, like they're too hot. And he was like, if you can't pick them out, you can get out. So I left.
Wow.
And then they sacked me. So yeah, they didn't even call me up or anything. I just didn't go back, and they just sent me the P45. They were horrible there, though. Absolutely horrible company. They're gone now. They're a nice Indian restaurant now. They used to be a little pub thing. Anyway, no one cares about that, and that's not why the Superchats come in. But there you go, little insight into my life. Brother Boy says, thanks for the advice this year. Coutinho out for who? God, what a nightmare he's been for people that have owned him. 10.4 in the bank, so you can get pretty much anyone, but De Bruyne and Son.
10.4 in the bank.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's done Salah to Son last week, and that's freed up sort of 2 million, and then anyway, 10.4 for a Coutinho replacement. Would you do Coutinho and Zaha for De Bruyne and Mbommo for a hit? This does help me block the person behind in a mini league. So worried about De Bruyne, obviously. I definitely wouldn't be selling Zaha for a header at home to United. I mean, obviously you want De Bruyne, and if you only care about blocking the person, then I guess it's a sensible move. But I don't
also quite like the Mbommo pick. I quite like that.
Yeah. You like Coutinho? You selling Zaha though for a hit for Mbommo? Don't know. That doesn't sit too right with me.
But it depends, doesn't it? Because I think having KDB over Coutinho is massively better for this week. And I kind of fancy Brentford to win that game against Leeds. So
but it's
I might be tempted. Yeah, but I don't know. I might be tempted to do that,
Have you seen the latest update with Spurs?
Yes, I have. Can we stop talking about
Have you seen it, Gianni? Alistair
No.
Gold, who was a key part in kind of talking about Kulusevski's illness, is the reason why I ended up selling him for Maddison, because he's a Spurs journalist essentially and knows a lot of stuff. He's tweeted saying there's no food poisoning, but Kane is ill. Wow, big news. That is, we'll keep your eye on that. Yeah, be sure to check out T News later with Neil, and we'll cover all this in more detail. Gianni, I'll come to you. Obviously, Coutinho needs to go. Sam likes that hit. Are you a fan?
Oh, Brentwood boy. My suggestion would be, if you're selling Coutinho, and let's forget about money for a sec, you can have any midfielder in the game. Would KDB be top of your list? If so, because you're so big on blocking that person in your mini league, then do the KDB and the 4-point hit. But for me, I would rank Mount, Luis Diaz. I'd put above KDB. I'd arguably put Havertz into the mix as a really rogue punt, and even Foden on a par with KDB for this week. So I would say if you're really big on blocking, you have to do it. But if you're not and you're just playing your own game, I would look at Mount or Luis Diaz as the standout options. And then I keep Zaha against his old club, Man United, at Selhurst Park. This could be his last game at Selhurst Park. Zaha loves the end of the season because he's always playing for a new contract or a new transfer. And I think he'll go this summer. I actually think he'll go to perhaps outside the Premier League, somewhere like Dortmund. But Zaha, last game at Selhurst Park, potentially. I would not want to sell him for a hit.
It's very, very tricky when you've got that much money in the bank.
Yeah.
Because you want to spend it, and if you go for Mount, you're gonna have like 3 million in the bank in the final week. But you've got to look at it as 1 week, and I don't think there's much in it between Mount at home to Watford, having just had a rest.
Does he say what the rest of his midfield is like?
No, all we know is Coutinho, Zaha, and Son.
Because I imagine if you've got that much money in the bank, you've got a lot of those mid-price midfielders in there anyway.
Yeah. I agree with Gianni. If you haven't got Mount, I think taking a hit to sell Zaha when there's not much in it between Mount and De Bruyne, I think I'll just go for Mount.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sam votes, do the hit. I vote, Gianni and I vote. Just get Mount. And then if you've got money, you could probably strengthen somewhere else with 3 or 4 million. Maybe take a hit. Maybe block another player that he's got. If he's got like a James or an Alonso, someone like that, you can block those. Yeah. I don't think De Bruyne is going to go huge this week. I said that a couple of weeks ago, and he got 4 goals. I just don't think he's going to get the space that he had against Wolves. I'm not saying he can't get 10 plus points, because he obviously can, but I'd be more so if City win that game 4 or 5-0 and De Bruyne gets 20 points, I would be shocked. But yeah, it could easily happen. Carlos Mick, great stream, guys. Chasing 15 points in the mini league. Would you go De Bruyne and Richarlison out? See, now we're seeing people selling De Bruyne. This is why Gameweek38 is so great. Would you sell De Bruyne and Richarlison for Diaz and Vardy for a -4? I'm guessing if he's chasing in the mini league leader has De Bruyne and Richarlison, so there's no point in kind of having those two. Already got Son. Gianni, you like both of those picks?
I like that all 4 players mentioned, though. I like the 2 players you'd be selling as well. I think Everton are going to beat Arsenal. I think Richarlison is a really good pick. Knowing what's happened in recent weeks, the momentum now Everton have versus Arsenal are dead and buried. But look, if the guy above you's got these players, you need something different. Diaz and Vardy are great options, and really nice differentials, both of them this week. It was nice to see Vardy is an option, and look, let's say Harry Kane is out, maybe we get Son in and Vardy, and we don't have to sell Salah. Vardy came off, I think, at 70 odd minutes against Chelsea. That was for one thing and one thing only, to rest him ahead of Southampton, because this will be 3 starts in 8 days for Vardy, which is his absolute maximum. I think he starts knowing he came off early. If he had played 90 against Chelsea, I'd be worried about a start. So yeah, I like those moves.
Kane did train yesterday, but was pulled out of a media event as a precaution.
Are you just trying to make me feel better now, or
I don't know?
What is happening here?
Everything's so up.
You're deliberately trying to wind me up.
I love it. We might not have to sell Salah to get Son. We can
sell Sam on a breakdown.
Kane now, can't we?
No, oh man, yeah, but I don't think so. I think even if Salah's, do we really think Salah's going to be risked?
So hard.
I just don't see it. I just think he's not. they've got the Champions League final on Saturday. If there's any risk to Salah in playing in this game, if he's not like 100% fit going into this one, I just don't see Klopp risking him. No. I don't see him risking Van Dijk either. I don't know why you would. He just give him
as well. Yeah,
they just give him the extra rest. They don't need them. They've got, put them on the bench, and if it's all going wrong, bring them on.
Yeah, I think Salah gets half an hour max.
Top. So for me, I mean, I guess it's easier for me to say this because I'm on a free hit, but I wouldn't be having him.
Yeah.
But, as part of a strategy for change, we've discussed in the last, Adam, we've been going 20 minutes or so, that we've got Mount, we've got Diaz, we've got KDB, we've got Son, we've got all these other, even Zaha, all these other options that you could have in midfield that are going to get 90 minutes or should get 90 minutes or at least 60 minutes in Diaz's case. Why risk having Salah?
Yep. We're getting distracted by talks of Caden and Salah. It's all right. We've got a lot of
sent me over the edge.
We basically had very few super chats, and I was like, "Yeah, get them all in. We'll answer them all." And then we've had like absolute flux of them come in. So,
well, I'm having a breakdown.
Well, you're having a breakdown. Yeah, perfectly placed to answer.
Guys, if you're liking this stream, by the way, before Az reads this out, 47 of you have liked it. Give us the thumbs up, guys.
47?
Come along. There's 472 of you watching.
Do we need to up the flirting? Is that what needs to happen?
Yeah, there's 3 of us now. I could flirt
with
Gianni for a bit.
Start flirting with Gianni as well?
Yeah, just,
What should we do?
A horrible triangle. It's like my idea for only FF fans. I'll tell you that could catch on one day.
Oh dear.
No one wants that.
Nobody wants that.
Let's go back to Carlos Mick quickly.
Is that going to be the new version of Patreon? We do OnlyFans for FPL.
It's the same as a Q&A, but we're all topless.
Right. I haven't signed up for this. That's less problematic for you two than it is for me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you've got the short straw. We really are getting sidetracked.
We'll be getting sponsorship from Manscaped, Az.
We will. That's the dream, right? That's the dream. We always cheat.
If I want that, though.
Let's just finish up on Carlos Mick quickly. Sam, do you like De Bruyne and Richarlison for Diaz and Vardy for a hit if you're chasing?
Yes, I guess so. But only if you're chasing, because I actually do really like KDB for this week. I think he'll do really well. So I wish I was as confident as Gianni is about Arsenal being beaten by Everton. But I do like the KDB pick, so I would be loath to sell him. I mean, he was one of the first players I put in on my free hit, so I'd be loath to take him out. But if it gives you the opportunity to chase, then I think the 2 players that you're looking at putting in could absolutely give you a mega haul. So I would probably do it in order to catch up.
Vardy's the one, right? For me, of kind of everyone, I think Vardy's quite a hard player. I mean, he's a lot easier to get if Kane's a doubt, but assuming Kane plays, Vardy's a tricky player to get, I think. Mount's a lot easier because you can get him in. We're going to see investment in him, but if you're chasing, I don't think there's a better player than Vardy to stick. If you're only worried about catching, if you're only worried about trying to break into the top 1k or 10k and stuff, you don't mind a bit of a rank decrease when Son goes crazy, I think slap the captaincy on Vardy. Because that's a game where I can see lots of goals. Vardy against the high line. He's got a good record against Southampton. They're really poor at the moment. I like that move. So yeah, I would do it. I can't guarantee that it will work out because I think De Bruyne is a good pick, but I think Diaz and Vardy could also score big as well. Delia, thank you for the super chat. Who will score most this game week, Kane or KDB? A little message for you as well, Sam. Sam, if you're ever down for getting a red arrow, most likely I have one too, says Delia. You're never alone.
Thanks, Delia.
Thanks for all you guys.
Red arrows have become my friends, to be honest. They're my little friends. Might get a tattoo of a red arrow or something, We've had so many of them this year.
get a tattoo of every red arrow that you get. You just be covered.
I'd be red, totally red.
Okay. I mean, let's assume Kane's all right. Otherwise,
Kane's fit, then Kane is.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all agreed you'd rather have Kane over De Bruyne, wouldn't you say, Gianni, this week?
Yeah, he would be. I think Kane is probably the second best captaincy option this game week after Son. So if we go off that, if I was ranking my game week captains, I'd probably have KDB around 7th or 8th. Like, there's a lot of players I'd rank above KDB this week for captaincy. And I've mentioned Diaz and Mount already. Delia, thank you, though. It's a really generous £10 donation.
Yeah, lovely. And that will, as I keep saying, that will go straight to Street Charge United. Yeah, I'm just getting up the team data defence. I mean, the reason why we're also kind of hell-bent on Son and Kane is just because of how poor Norwich have been. Obviously, we talk about these stats on Black Box. There was, if you saw the FPL show last night, it was they ranked all the teams on shots in the box, and basically every metric over the season, Norwich are bottom. They concede the most chances, the most big chances. They got the lowest minutes per XG. They're expected to concede 2 goals every game that they play. Whereas you compare that to Villa, Villa are 9th in terms of underlying defensive data over the last 6, 7th over the season. There's just much more likelihood of Norwich getting absolutely tonked, I think, than Villa. So that's why you go for the Spurs players.
As on Kane, account I trust, I think, Spurs ITK Hub on Twitter, it says Kane has a virus and is travelling to Norwich on his own. So I'm sure it'll be fine. It's just precautionary, right? Sessegnon and Emerson also struggling, apparently. They're the other 2 names been mentioned so far.
Well, it's like the whole team now.
So just be careful if you're transferring in those wing-backs, because Sessegnon's getting a lot of love. Just hold until Sunday. Like, we'll see more. There's no need to make transfers early to beat price rises. Just wait.
Yep. Agreed. Stephen Gallagher, thank you so much. Another generous €10 this time donation. Hi everyone. Continue to mount seems set for me. Easy move like that. I have Richarlison and Pookie up front. Sam, do you remember your weird spell on these streams when you were just
I still love
Pookie? Still love Pookie?
I still love Pookie. I wish Pookie would get a transfer in the Premier League. Like, somebody else buy Pookie, please. Like, he'd come to Spurs if he likes. Come to Spurs. I think he's a legend.
Come to Spurs. Wow.
Sit on the bench, can't he?
Times are that hard, are they?
He can come sit on the bench, He's just... I like Pookie. What is the question? Will I get rid of him?
No, I just got you excited about Pookie. There's no
just
question.
Just got me talking.
The question isn't even related to Pookie. The question is, would you do cash to Alonso to James for a -4 and bench
It isn't about Pookie.
It's a bit of Pookie, because you'd have to bench one of Pookie or Richarlison. So
bench Pookie. That's fine.
Yeah, so bench Pookie, but then you got to take a -4 for cash to Alonso or James.
Ooh.
Gianni, Chelsea expert among us.
Come on, Gianni.
Honestly, I don't like sitting on the fence. Like someone said earlier about Pulisic being a good captaincy option, I commented saying he will not start. Like, I don't think Pulisic starts a football match. I'll happily not sit on the fence a lot of the time. But with Alonso and Reece James, I genuinely am so 50-50 over starts because of Tuchel's comments saying he's going to play those that haven't been playing much. So the likes of Sarr will come in. Could we see Sal Niguez playing left wing back? Could we see Aspi play right wing back? I just don't think I'd be taking a hit to bring Alonso and James in. Sure, if you've got them, you hold them. But I don't think these are transfers in this week. And even if I was on a free hit like Sam, I don't think I'd be going with Alonso and James. I think I'd be going double Chelsea midfield, maybe, Mount Havertz, but I'd ignore the defence. And look, do you really want to be benching someone like Richarlison? No, I don't think so. So don't take the hit. Pookie, even, you wouldn't be surprised. His last game at Carrow Road in the Premier League for probably some time.
No.
Do you know, I like Sam, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Pookie. And couldn't believe how quick he is. Like, I was looking at top speeds the other day from the Euros, just so I can see all the Italian players at the top. Spinazzola was the quickest player at the Euros, but Pookie was like 3rd or something. I was like, wow, this guy is seriously quick off the mark. Like, I hadn't appreciated how fast he is.
Just plays for Norwich. That's the only problem with Pookie.
Yeah. If he was at West Ham, he'd score 15, 20 league goals a season, wouldn't
Correct. Yes. Yeah. I'll just have Gianni on more often. He backs me up.
Just you two, we'll get you do a post-season Pookie stream. It'll be fine. It'll get like 3 views, and it'll be like from his family. But it's fine.
Gianni, but while we're talking about Chelsea defence, then, so Rudiger's got to be the best pick then in the Chelsea defence if you go in there.
I would have said yes, but he then said his farewells. Literally tweeted last night after the game all of his farewells and had loads of images of him sort of waving to the crowd like maybe we're not going to see Rudiger again. Knowing last night they played at home, they're also home this weekend. It felt like Rudiger's farewell last night. So again, I don't even know if he starts. Yeah. Honestly, and even Mendy, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kepa come in. Like, I think we're going to see a huge amount of rotation.
Well, Tuchel's comments hint at massive rotation. I think that if James starts, he is the player that I think could go nuclear like this week, because Watford are so bad down that left.
I agree. If he starts, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at taking a hit for James. So I'm the complete opposite of Gianni. Yeah, I'm thinking of getting rid of Richarlison as well and getting in Ivan Toney. So I literally couldn't be less like in sync with what Gianni's saying. I'm not convinced Everton get anything at Arsenal. I think they've been playing out of their skin to try and avoid relegation. And I think it's a difficult game at the Emirates. I know
Lampard looked emotionally drained yesterday.
He did. I think they'll all be drained. They'll have been partying for 3 days solid. They'll all be knackered. I think Arsenal have kind of given up as well. I think that of all the games, I think that's probably going to be a sort of a 0 or 1-0.
I think Dele Alli's going to score. I think Dele Alli's going to start. And I think he's going to score.
Dele Alli played fantastic when he came on last night.
Exactly. And Lampard said it. And I think he's going to be given a run out. A North London thing, I think Dele's going to score.
Oh my God, if Dele is the one that beats Arsenal, that'll be life. That'll be done. Oh, wow.
Just before we carry on with the super chats, I might have to drop out briefly because I've just had a call from a delivery company who said they were going to be here later in the day, but they've moved it to earlier because they're in the area. So basically, if the dog goes mad and I leave, then you two are going to
Gianni
have to...
and I here.
Yeah, you two.
Though I'm not looking at the chat. Gianni, are you looking at the chat?
I am looking at the chat. Although you can't log off, so you'll just leave your screen, right? Because
don't worry. I'll just mute myself and I'll disappear for a bit. But I
just
will
leave
be
Jake sat in your chair.
Yeah,
Jake will take your place.
He'll be going absolutely nuts. So
at the door.
He won't be good for the stream. Kane, I'm assuming not Harry Kane, but Kane has given a $2.99 super chat and just says thank you for the FF Scout presenters. That's lovely.
It is Harry Kane. He just wants to say thank you for how much love I've given him.
He's ill in bed,
No, he's travelling alone to Norwich. He needs some company in the car.
He's listening to us three.
Lalis88, I need something drastic. Give me your ultimate punts, no holding back. Need to make up 48 points. Okay.
Right, hang on. I need the
Dele Alli.
Well, there you go.
I love this. I literally love how rogue this is. Dele Alli.
Dele Alli. My ultimate. I guess he's a punt. I still think if you're trying to make up 48 points and you know that person isn't going to have Vardy, for me, stick the captaincy on Vardy. That's the one for me.
No, I don't think either of these two are getting. The problem is nobody's going to get 48 points unless you captain them.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to bring in Vardy or Dele and captain them.
Is Vardy differential enough though, to make that up? Because
that's what I mean. It depends who he's got.
I feel like someone like you've got to go lower ownership than a Vardy.
It's 11%. Vardy. He's not as big as owned as you think.
He's trying to make up 48 points on one person, presumably. So if that person hasn't got Vardy, then you bring him in and captain him, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Havertz captain
came off the bench for Lukaku. Good shout. I mean, a Mount captain as well, potentially. Again, it depends.
Mane, he did 2 goals against Wolves in the last game of the season on the last time that Liverpool played in the Champions League final.
I like that as well. A Mane over, or potentially a Diaz. I don't think too many.
Mane is going to be in Sam's free hit, I reckon.
Yeah, I like that.
If Kane can't play, I'm just going to be crying. You'll just find me rocking slowly in a corner. Although if Kane's not playing, it does open up a world of opportunity. Although I have to start again because if Sessegnon also doesn't play, my whole team needs what he's doing again.
I mean, you've got to kind of look at the games and identify where you think the biggest swings are to try and get that. And I think then you've got to go hard on that game. So I think you obviously you've got Spurs and Norwich, but everyone's going to have Son and Kane, so you can't really look at that one. I think Liverpool Wolves, I think that is one that you could probably target. If people are dropping off Salah, then you go for these Mane, Diaz picks.
Look what City did to Wolves.
Exactly, yeah, and you hope for a big performance. Because I think people are going to be put off by the injuries in the Champions League and that kind of thing.
Klopp's all about rhythm. So he's going to play
He'll play the strongest team, I think so.
Just the risks. It's the free risks. It's Van Dijk, it's Salah, it's Fabinho. They don't start for me. The others, it's rhythm. They plays them all.
Yeah. And the other game I really like for goals is Brentford Leeds.
I love that game.
I think Brentford batter Leeds. Honestly,
my free hit team's got 2 in currently, 2 Brentford players.
That's what I mean. So if you're looking at ultimate punts, I think you potentially go Ericsson and Toney.
That's what I've got.
Absolutely. Maybe you even consider sticking the armband on one of them. Maybe you go triple and you get a defender in as well because I can't see Leeds scoring in that game.
Gelhardt. Keep Leeds in the Premier League.
Can't see it. I think Leeds are going to go down.
The trouble with Leeds is they just rely so much on like these individual brilliant players, Rafinha, Gelhardt, skidding 3 players and crossing in. They don't seem to have any real system or belief in what they're doing, identity anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the opposite of Brentford. They've got the passion. They're at home. They've got history with Leeds. They want to relegate them. That's what all the signs are pointing to. Tony sharing videos of all the Leeds players singing about "Mind the Gap," Thomas Frank. Like, there's an atmosphere. There's going to be a hell of an atmosphere at that game, and Leeds don't have the tools, I don't think, to break them down.
And if Brentford win and Brighton lose, Brentford are going to finish in the top half of the table.
Yeah, incredible.
To finish in the top half of the table on the final day of the season, that is incredible for Brentford, given, what we thought might happen. At no point did I think Brentford were going to finish in the top half of the table this season. So,
and the money you get for each rank as well. Brentford, a team like Brentford, want that money. It matters.
Yep. Absolutely. So there you go. There's some punts there. I think we've answered.
Callum Wilson, I just throw.
Oh, that's a great one.
That's
Callum
a great
Wilson
one
against Burnley. I think Newcastle, the way they're playing, Callum Wilson was so good last time out.
Love that.
I could see Callum Wilson scoring.
Also, Jared Bowen in really good form.
Oh yeah,
no one's talking about him because he's
so good.
Love that as well. Yeah, I really like the Callum Wilson one as well, especially. That's really nice. Matthew Allen, thank you for the super chat. Cheers. These FAQs have been a great help, but I've fallen into a trap. Would you keep Mahrez and Jota, or transfer one out for Mount? 17 points off the top 1K. Wow.
Get rid.
You've got to get rid of Mahrez.
You've got to get rid of Jota. Jota definitely doesn't start, does he? Well, maybe.
I don't know. If Salah doesn't play, Jota plays.
Does he?
Yeah, I think so.
Or does Firmino start?
Yeah.
Nah.
Because Diaz played... Last time Salah didn't play, Diaz did really well on the right.
He'll play there and Mane will play.
And then Mane left.
But I think he goes full strength, and then Jota up top.
Jota 9, yeah, you're probably right. But Mahrez could play. Pep played Mahrez against Real Madrid. That was the biggest game of the season for them, and he put Mahrez in.
Yeah, then he dropped him for the next 2 Premier League games. It's tricky.
They're both tricky ones when we know Mount is going to play 90.
I think the tricky question is here is Matthew's 17 points off the top 1K, right? That's quite a lot. So I think Mahrez actually is the kind of player who could go big if he does start. So
would it surprise you to see Mahrez with a hat-trick on the last day?
Well, that's exactly what I mean, right? So I think selling Mahrez actually probably isn't the best move. I think if I was 17 points, I'd hope that he starts and hope for a big point for him. I think Jota's probably the one that I'd look to sell.
Jota definitely won't get 9. Jota will be off early as well.
Yeah, I think I'd do Jota to Mount. I think I like that move, and keep Mahrez and just hope he plays, because if he plays, he'll do well. I've got no doubt.
Does he have Penn still, or does KDB have him again because he missed?
No, I think he. He did miss, didn't he?
He's missed them all. They all miss at City. Whoever's on Penn, Sterling, Mahrez, KDB, they've all got terrible records.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he probably keeps them, but I wouldn't be too sure. I forgot he missed that actually. We need to push through this, by the way, because we are going to be here for about 15 hours if we don't. We've got loads more. Are you both all right?
Neil will be in a minute for team news.
I've got to set that up in a bit. I haven't. Yeah. You both all right for time?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try and go down to David Toft. Hopefully we'll get through to that. If there's any more super chats that come in after David Toft, we will answer them in the YouTube comments after the video. So feel free to keep your super chats come in. Remember, all the money goes to Street Child United. But if you're after David Toft, then we will answer them in the YouTube chat. Yeah, that just puts a little bit of a base at the end. Okay, next question is from Shamil Gilani. Thank you for the super chat. Got 4 million in the bank. Kane, Mount, and Nketiah in for Richarlison, Watkins, and Coutinho for a -8. Or Kane, Mount, and Bowen, Maddison in for Watkins, Coutinho, and Mahrez -8. I mean, -8 on the last day. I no, not for me. It's too much.
Seems set though. Shamil seems set on the -8 idea.
Yeah.
I like option the second option way more. It means you
Kane, Bowen, and who was it?
Mount.
Kane, Mount, and Bowen in. They're 3 players we've all spoken about in the last hour, right? Or Maddison instead of Bowen was an option. Watkins, Coutinho, and Mahrez all out are 3 players we probably don't like this week. So I don't mind those Punts.
I wouldn't sell Mahrez for a hit, I don't think, for Bowen or Maddison. I think I would just hope that he starts, and I'd just take the -4.
No, because they need the Mahrez money, because remember, they're buying Harry Kane. So they need Mahrez down to a Bowen or a Maddison to get Harry Kane in for Watkins.
I wouldn't do a -8 on the last day. I just wouldn't do it. I mean, look, for this week, I took a -12, right? And it paid off, but it only paid off because of one player, and that was Maddison. If I'd just taken the -8, they all blanked. Pickford had 2 games, blanked in both. Ings, captain,
It's Pickford,
disaster.
It's Pickford. No, like why did we think that Pickford was going to do anything more than that? I think I said last week, why are you going Pickford? Don't go Pickford. So, whereas I look at this -8, and I keep looking at it, thinking I would do it. I don't think Watkins and Coutinho are going to do that well this week. If they do score, they're not scoring 5. It'll be 1. I think that's a close game between City and Aston Villa. I think I don't see there being really loads of goals there. But I look at the 3 that you're thinking about bringing in. Kane, if not ill, against Norwich. Mount against Watford. And Bowen, who's in fantastic form. I think all of them return.
Agreed. I think it's worth the 8-point hit. Kane makes that up in one goal.
I think he does.
Then he gets 3 bonus as well, right? So Kane gets 8 points just from 1 attacking involvement, pretty much.
Yeah, I suppose.
I would do that in a heartbeat. I would do that.
Okay,
You're wrong, Az.
No, I've been converted. I think I might agree actually. Now, yeah, do it. Why not? It's the last day.
You only live once.
Exactly.
Yeah, YOLO it.
Yeah, I mean the players you're taking out. I mean, you're taking out 2 Villa players away at City. Let's be honest, they're going to get
2 pointers, isn't it?
Points
and a
sure.
potential bench option. Like it's possible Mahrez is benched. So yeah.
Okay, do it. Yeah, do it. Christopher Con, thank you for the super chat. Great cause. Gutted, got priced out of Kane and Maddison. Should I go for Barnes instead? So Kane and Barnes in for Salah and Pookie. Open to other striker mid combos. Already have Son, Mount, Salah, Saka, and Kulu. Kane. Oh, that is annoying because I'd much rather have Maddison over Barnes at the moment. Kane and Barnes though, I think Barnes probably plays. I think they'll look to exploit the high line of Southampton, get Barnes in behind. So I think that's fine. I think Kane and Barnes is a decent shout. Gianni, agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I'm with you there.
Yeah, Sam.
I think so. I just don't know if there's a better player than Barnes. I don't think there's a better game, but I don't know if there's a better player. Because it's Maddison is the standout pick in that Leicester midfield.
True.
So part of me is like, would somebody like Eriksen or Bowen or Bruno?
Can't afford Bowen. You got 6'5" basically. Bowen's 6'9", so you can't afford Bowen.
Okay, can't afford him then. I don't know.
There's
Kulusevski.
He's got him, didn't he say?
Got him already.
He's got Kulu.
Mount,
Yeah.
Saka and Kulu.
Yeah, I think it's Barnes. And again, I think this is one of those ones where it's 38. It's 1 week. You hope that he plays, and if you see Barnes in that starting lineup, I think he gets a good haul. So I think it's worth the risk.
And you're right about the formation as with Barnes' involvement. What we saw against Chelsea, though, is the 2 forwards. That's almost like the team that's slightly more defensive. I think it'll be a front 3 and it will have 2 wide forwards because it's Southampton.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I think we all agree on Barnes. That's nice. Ian Buckler, on a free hit, would you not pick Son if you're captaining Kane because of EO? 4th mid choice is Barnes, Bowen or Saka. Already got Maddison, Mount and Diaz. It doesn't matter to me what position you're in the world. If you're first, if you're 200th, if you're 1 millionth, whatever, you need Son.
There's no way you should free hit without Son.
No way you should free hit without Son. I know the EO is going to be high. Okay, you might be chasing. Literally, if all you care about is pushing up as high as you can, and your mini league has got, and you don't care where you finish, okay, go for it. But I'm expecting Son to go huge this week, so I would always suggest you have him in your free hit team.
Yeah, Ian, ignore EO. Just take yourself out of the EO conversation for a second. Do you think Son gets points this game week? The answer I know you're thinking is yes. So with that in mind, you have to go with who's going to get points, and Son's going to get points. So,
yep, I agree. Joshua Tan, hi Joshua, regular in these Q&A streams. Coutinho and Richarlison for Mount and Tony for a -4. Yes, love that. Also thinking to cap Mount or James. chasing top 50k at 68k. Have Son and Kane, of course. I love that move. I love bringing in Mount and Tony for Coutinho and Richarlison. It's very similar to what I'm thinking with James and Tony coming in. Coutinho's got to go. I personally don't think Richarlison gets much against Arsenal. I think Mount and Tony could go big, both of them. I love it.
Yeah, I agree.
I would just go for the one transfer there, Joshua.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of Richarlison this game week. Yeah, I do. But you could still go Coutinho to Mount and Captain Mount. Don't mind that.
He's a bit more though, Mount, isn't he? So you might need the money.
Okay.
If you need the money, I don't think Richarlison to Tony's a bad.
If you want to captain a Chelsea player, though, I'd go Mount over James.
Yeah, so would I. I think so now. Given Tuchel's comments, I would have said James. I said James yesterday on the FPL show, but that was before the comments.
Or before you'd seen the comments.
Before I'd seen the comment. Oh, yeah, exactly. Nahel Kukani, should I sell Salah or De Bruyne for Son? And then should I do Richie or Broja to Tony? I mean, Broja to Tony is about as big an upgrade as it gets.
Do that. Definitely do
that. Yeah.
And I'd downgrade Salah because I don't think he's going to play unless they have to.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Agree.
As well. Gianni, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an easy one. And like Broja shouldn't be in anyone's starting 11. He'll be on my bench as like my third sub, but he shouldn't be near anyone's 11s.
I mean, if you can do Broja to Tony, then easy. I mean, you obviously sell him over Richarlison. I think, Richarlison is still. I wouldn't be like, if I had to play Richarlison, I wouldn't be desperate, not to play him. But I think you can probably, you can do better. And if you do Richarlison to Tony, you've then got a bit more money to play with. So that's why I'm kind of suggesting it. Asa Fiend, thank you for the super chat. We really have got a lot of super chats this stream, so thank you everyone. This is definitely the record we've had for the most in the stream. So this is awesome. Yay. Great work.
Awesome.
Great work, everyone. Asa Fiend, 13 points behind mini league rival, but I have the free hit chip and he doesn't. Who should I go for? Who will definitely start? Worried about Chelsea rotation. Okay, 13 points behind, but with a free hit chip. This is where you get your Vardy, De Bruyne, Son, Kane. You go on those 4 premiums.
Diaz, Mount. As your mid-priced. Maybe Foden as a bit of a rogue shout.
If you got De Bruyne though, would you go double City?
Oh no, I wouldn't. But I'd potentially save the money and go Foden over De Bruyne.
Yeah, interesting.
I think Sessegnon's a great free hit pick as well because he's 4.3, so he frees up quite a lot of cash to do other things with. Yeah, I mean, there's loads of options. I mean, I've got an article on Scout where I basically posted 2 sort of different free hit teams with completely different squads. The only player I had in both was Son. I think there's so many different ways that you can go with this. I mean, Son would definitely be in it. Mount would definitely be in it for me. Vardy would definitely be in it for me. They're probably my 3, and then Tony. They're probably the 4 that I definitely have.
I'm just looking at the free hit I posted on Twitter a couple of hours ago. I had a midfield of Son, Havertz, Mount, Diaz, and Foden. I like all those guys. Like, I know Havertz and Foden sound really rogue, but it's 1 week punt. Go for it.
Sam, anyone to add to the free hit thinking?
No, I mean, you've pretty much said everyone that I've got in my free hit at the moment. Vardy's the only one I haven't got in there, but then partly that's because I'm kind of just waiting on team news and seeing what Neil's got to say for himself later on. And then I'll make some decisions about where I spend the rest of the budget. I think my big decisions on free hits are more the defensive ones because there's never that many clean sheets on the final day of the season. So when you're talking about the defence, it's kind of interesting to think about whether it's worth having players like Cancelo in there or whether to go a bit rogue and take him out, free up some more money and upgrade and go with the attackers, because I think the attackers are where the points are going to come. But it feels really weird not having Cancelo in there because he obviously has the potential to get those attacking returns. I might save some budget by going Robertson over Trent this time around, just because that will allow some upgrades elsewhere. It kind of gives you that additional premium option up top, probably with Kane and Vardy together, as opposed to not being able to have one or the other. But again, that's going to depend on what the news on Kane is, because if he's genuinely ill and not going to play, then I don't need that extra money because I'll just have Vardy in instead of Kane and use that money elsewhere.
Yeah. All good. Very good points. Okay, move with Mike. -8 to make some ground up. 4 red arrows, dropped to 170k. Cash Coutinho, Zaha to Sessegnon, Maddison and Mount. Do you like that?
I like selling Cash and Coutinho. Like, I think everyone is looking to sell Villa assets. If you didn't have a free hit last week, there's a good chance you have a good number of Villa assets. And yeah, you definitely want them gone. I don't like selling Zaha. Like we said this half an hour ago. Like I just think Zaha against United is a really nice fixture at Selhurst Park.
He's a differential as well. Not that many people have Zaha.
Don't you think that Mount and Maddison's fixtures are better?
Yeah.
Debate. I mean, kind of. But also, I think Palace could hit 3 or 4 in that game if they turn up. United.
It's one of the best fixtures on paper, isn't it?
Is.
Having United come to your ground at the moment, it's a fantastic fixture.
Ten Hag's in the stands. Any chance they're better?
No.
They've had new managers watching them for the last 4 years, and they still don't. Eyes have been on them, but they're still rubbish.
They're all just kind of, loads of them are out of contract. They're all like mercenary players. A lot of them. They got no. I just don't believe in them at all. And I think Palace, they're licking their wounds after that loss last night. To be 2-0 up at half time against Everton and to lose that. It's their final home game. It's going to be absolutely rocking there at Selhurst Park. I think they win. I wouldn't sell Zaha for a hit. I would just do cash and continue out for Sessegnon on one of Maddison or Mount, and I'd probably favour Mount. I think, given that he's had the rest.
Yeah, Mads has started the last 2 or 3 games. I think he's played 90 in them. I just wonder if he even doesn't get 90. But yeah, Mount, go for Mount over Maddison all day.
Yeah. Nas, Luis Diaz and Bowen and Eriksson, or Tony and Eriksson for a hit. So basically, would you rather have Luis Diaz or
Eriksson?
No, or Tony, right? It's Luis Diaz and Bowen or Eriksson, or Tony and Eriksson for a hit. So would you rather have Diaz or Tony? I would rather have Tony. I think Tony. I think Tony smashes.
Yeah, you guys are both quite big on Brentford winning, aren't you?
Him.
And Tony.
I'm really big on him.
I haven't been. I think Leeds are going to actually turn up and manage to park the bus, and I think it's going to be a really tight game. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 1-1 or even a 0-0. So I'm going Luis Diaz to smash Wolves in a bit like how City smash Wolves. That's so done Wolves. I think I could see Liverpool scoring 3 or 4 goals.
I think it's not clear cut. I think Diaz is absolutely superb. I just think Tony gets the 90 for sure. He's got the pens as well. And I think Leeds could fall apart. Whereas Luis Diaz, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes off at 60 minutes.
He's going to play in the Champions League final, which is what puts me off.
Yeah.
He's going to play Luis Diaz in the Champions League final. So he will play him. I think he starts this game, but I suspect around 60 minutes, he comes off. The question for me is, how many goals are Liverpool going to score
till then
in 60 minutes? Like, do we think we're going to get good defensive Wolves, which you do sometimes? We sometimes get a really strong defensive unit from Wolves, and then other times we get Wolves against City and it's a collapse.
The thing is, only 3 of those Liverpool players can come off at 60. So I wouldn't be surprised if Luis Diaz played 90 and you rest your
I don't know, because
Mane's that's had loads of minutes, or I don't know, your Thiagos, or your
They've
Trents
all had
or
a rest
Robos.
though. These guys have had a rest. They rested against Southampton.
Yeah.
So he's not got to rest them. He's rested them once already.
Diaz was one of the first off as well in the FA Cup final.
Yeah. I think
and it's 6 days away, the Champions League final. Like, even if these guys all play 90, they're going to be, they're still relatively fresh.
Don't you think the fact we're even having this conversation, the fact we're even debating who's going to start and who's not and who's going to play and all that kind of thing, when you've got someone like Tony with that really nice home game, playing in front of his own fans, now for 90 with pens, I just think the logical answer is to kind of side with that, I think. But I think you can go for either of them. And
Eriksson's last game in a Brentford shirt, maybe?
Before he pulls on the Lily White again.
Did you see Thomas? Oh, my door's gone, so I'm going to have to leave you two to
no, here goes Jake.
Here he goes. Good luck, guys. I'll be back in 5.
What was the question we were about to answer, Gianni?
Yeah, so we got Luis Diaz and Bowen and Eriksson, or Tony and Eriksson for a hit. So pretty much we're saying, do we want to go big on Brentford? And you and Az are kind of thinking, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I do like the Brentford picks this week. I think their last game at home, at the end of a phenomenal season where they could finish in the top 10, they get to relegate Leeds. I think they will be good. And I think Eriksson, I mean, it sounds as if he's, not going to get a club easily. When I say this, of course he will, but he's playing for a club. Like he's putting himself out there in the window for the best club that he can get. And I think he'll want to go out on a high. He's going to want to reward Brentford for kind of the faith that they've put in him and reboosting his career. So I think Brentford end the season on a high. I think Leeds are going to get relegated this weekend. Would I want both? I mean, in a free hit, I have got them both, but part of that is budget restrictions at the moment. I don't know if I had the budget to spread the love a little bit and go with Tony and a midfielder from another club, maybe I would do that. But it sounds like the other option is a -8 because there's 3 transfers there with just 2 otherwise.
Yeah, no, I think it is just a -4 or -4. So it's Diaz and Bowen or Ericsson, or Tony and Ericsson.
Yeah.
So it's either go double Brentford or single Brentford. I like single with Luis Diaz, but that's just because I see Liverpool as more reliable for goals than Brentford. So I think if you were to bet on one of those teams scoring 3 or 4 goals, it would be Liverpool, and therefore Diaz would be involved.
It's just the Leeds defence is woeful. And the Wolves defence can be okay. I think Liverpool are going to win the game.
If Leeds get a point and Burnley lose, do Leeds stay up?
Yes, Burnley have to equal Leeds.
Oh, it's so tough because Leeds have got to go and play for a draw if they can. They've got to go and try and part.
They've got to get something from the game and hope that Burnley get less than they do. Yeah. Oh, hello, he's back already.
I'm back. Told you. Told you it'd be quick.
That was quick.
Yeah, I told you it'd be quick.
Can't have been a very big delivery.
It's some garden furniture, actually. I finally got some garden furniture because, it's been raining all day, but the sun's been out and I haven't been able to go out there. So, yeah.
Lovely.
We're still in the Brentford one.
We're still debating Brentford.
You actually, God. This stream could go on for hours if I wasn't here, I reckon.
It might do when you're not here eventually. If you've ever got one where you're not here, me and Gianni just be here for 8 years.
What's the verdict then? What have you decided? I thought we were nearly there with that one, were we?
I'm sort of on with Gianni, I think. I think if I was going to bring in 2 players, would I bring in 2 Brentford players? Maybe I'd spread the love and go for a Liverpool one and one of Ericsson and Tony. So Tony and Diaz, maybe I'd take the punt on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I'm not totally sold on Ericsson as a final day punt. I think he's got good assist potential. He creates a lot of chances, but he just hasn't got the goal threat. I just can't see him getting a huge haul in this.
Concede a lot of set pieces, do Leeds?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, one of Nas's comments is Luis Diaz and Bowen or Ericsson. I don't know if you spoke about Bowen when I wasn't here, but I'd rather have Bowen than Ericsson.
I do like the Bowen pick. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have Bowen than Ericsson. I think we've got 3 more. Then we're done over an hour. Our longest Q&A stream yet. Cameron Starr, not even a question. The exact 3 I call FPL royalty on the show.
Oh, Cameron.
FPL royalty. How about that?
I mean, I'll take that. Star. Here's my crown.
Sam's the queen. I'm the duke, and Gianni's the jester.
You go. You can be. I think you're the king, Az. You can be the king. I'll be the prince.
I didn't want to make myself the king and Sam the queen because then I thought that's going to lead to people.
Oh God, the rumours. The rumours will be off again.
So
also makes Gianni our child if he's the prince.
I made myself a duke. I thought duke was quite a nice title.
Duke Az.
Az, am I older than you?
I think so. How old are you?
I'm 34.
Yeah,
Lord.
Couple of years older than me. Yeah.
You guys make me old. Stop it. I'm older than both of you.
I thought you were 21, Sam.
Oh, you see? Yeah, that will be accused of flirting. Be careful.
And it'd be weird that you've got like a very quite
an
oldish child. A baby when you were
never gone away, Gianni. We've never gone away. We went out to Spurs together, and it reignited the rumours.
I saw the selfie from Spurs. Yeah, I was very jealous.
We had lots of fun together, didn't we?
We did have lots of fun together. Yeah.
The way we're sat as well, it's like a little hierarchy, isn't it? So Az is top of the tree, like he's the king, and then me and Sam are sort of below his workers.
That's
his minions.
Completely deliberate. That just put myself at the top of the tree. Stephen Gallagher again. If I didn't get Mount in for Coutinho, I could do Maddison in and Vardy in for Richarlison. I wonder, does lots of Chelsea rotation affect Mount? I mean, that's a good point. That isn't something that we've really talked about. Does the fact, even if we know Mount's playing, if the kids do get played elsewhere, surely that limits the effect that Chelsea can have. And if they play a full under 21 team or something, they're probably not going to hit Watford for 6 or 7. But
well, no, they probably still will because that's how bad Watford are.
Well, you could be right.
They're not exactly bad kids either that we're talking about. It's not like we're talking about playing
It's like Havertz and Mount coming in instead of Pulisic and Ziyech. Like, it's still going to be a very well-known team.
And it's likely to have Aspilicueta in it and players like that, I would have thought. So
yeah, Christensen could play. Sarr. These are still Loftus-Cheek. Like, they're still good Premier League players, right?
Yeah.
I think we can answer this with one word. So I'll come to you first, Gianni. One word, Vardy or Mount for 38?
Mount.
Sam?
Mount.
I'm going to say Vardy.
You would.
But I'm overruled. So
Vardy wasn't in my free hit draft. He's not been in Sam's, but obviously you're big on him. I know.
He's got to be in your free hit draft.
He's expensive though.
I just worry about all this time in court. Is he
Wagger Christie going on?
Yeah, can he play 3 games in 8 days? Like, I don't know. I just prefer Mount. I prefer Kane, and you have to make compromises.
Yeah, and in no way am I saying I'm completely right. I'm just saying,
you are.
I'm just saying, listen to me and ignore these two jokers. That's basically what I do on these two. No, I like them both. I think you can't go wrong with either. I guess there is more risk of Vardy's minutes against Southampton, but I think Leicester could go big in that game. Southampton are terrible. Watford are as well, but yeah, I think Watford were a little bit unlucky to get hammered by Leicester in the way they did. I thought for the first sort of 20-30 minutes or so, they played really well. They got the goal, and then it's just
they're all injured they're all injured.
Yeah, but they put up a good performance against Everton, didn't they? They kept the clean sheet in that really dire match.
They're not going to go to Stamford Bridge and put up any kind of fight. I can't believe that they're going to turn up at Stamford Bridge and suddenly be peak Barcelona. I just can't see it.
No, what I'm saying is that I think both teams get beaten heavily, but I don't think Watford get beaten massively more heavily than Southampton. I think both teams probably lose 4 or 5 in that. It depends on how up for it Chelsea and Leicester are in those final 2 home games.
Yeah.
We've actually got 2 more super chats. We were going to go to David Toft. There's only one more after that, so we'll do that as one as well. David Toft, sell Salah and Havertz for a -4. If so, which are the best 2 replacements?
Sell Salah, but don't sell Havertz.
You think he's going to play?
You think he'll start? Yeah.
Yeah, he got 20 minutes last night. Tuchel's comments. He actually didn't say he's going to play the kids. He said he's going to play the players that haven't been playing much recently. Well, that's Havertz has been injured, and Lukaku's played like 4 games in 2 weeks. Like, I think Havertz definitely starts, and he could be such a dangerous differential. I'm not saying go and buy him, but if you have him, you don't sell.
Yeah, I think I probably agree with that, Sam.
Yeah, I'm happy to go along with that.
Yeah. So, okay, let's just answer the second part of the question. Best 2 replacements if you have got your heart set for 21 million. I mean, Son, I think we're all agreed is.
If you haven't got Son, get Son. Yeah.
So that's 11. So then you got 10 million for another mid. I think it's probably it's between Mount and Maddison, really, isn't it? Out of those 2.
And Diaz.
And maybe Diaz. Yeah. I think I'd probably lean towards Maddison.
If you have Son already, David, you might be able to go Mane.
Yeah,
21 million. That's half a Mane, isn't it?
Mane and Maddison potentially. If you're looking for something a bit different, don't mind that. Yeah. Anyone to add, Sam?
No, a KDB. I still do like KDB. I think he'll surprise you this week.
Okay, good. I hope not. I definitely won't have him
again.
Oh God, please not again. Okay, final super chat of the day. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll have to work out exactly how much we've raised, but I imagine it's got to be close to the £100 mark, I think, for sure. Varun Yaganath, thoughts on this free hit team? Schmeichel, Trent, Cancelo, or James, Alonso, that's the defence. Mount, Maddison, Diaz, Son, Kane and Vardy. Low team value, trying to get in the top 1k, off by 5 points. So close. With that team, I would bet you get into the top 1k. That is a great team. There's absolutely nothing wrong. I can't suggest anything. I think that's about as good as it gets.
I had Schmeichel as my keeper. That's really similar to my free hit draft, Aaron. I think that's a really good looking team. I'm surprised your team value is only 102, knowing you're around the top 1k. Like that's awesome.
Even with that value, you can still manage to get Son, Kane, and Vardy. And how similar is that to your free hit team, Sam?
It's not far off. Mine's got De Bruyne in it, which is throwing things a little bit. So it's got Trent and Cancelo. I've got James in place of Alonso. Mount. Hang on, let me just get mine up. Mount, Son. KDB and Eriksen, and then Kane and Tony up top. But there's plenty of movement there because, like I say, I'm not wed on Cancelo at the back. I don't think, famous last words, I don't think Man City are going to clean sheet, but he has always got the scope for a attacking return. He just hasn't had as many this season as I would have expected over the course of the year. But I could do some changes around to I like Sessegnon as a pick. If I take De Bruyne down, I can then go Vardy. I can have one of the mid options in there alongside maybe the likes of Diaz, and that is something I am considering, is going without KDB and having Diaz and Vardy instead.
Yeah, I think one thing I hate effective ownership, right? I'm the biggest advocate for ignoring it completely. But I do think maybe when you're 5 points off the top 1K, there is a bit of a thing about which players can kind of hurt. And as much as I love Vardy, I do worry that if you're 5 point, the 1K is such a great position to be in. Like if you get into the top 1K, that is such an amazing season. And I do think there are some risks around whether Vardy starts or not in that game. De Bruyne will definitely play. I do wonder if maybe I would consider covering De Bruyne somehow. If I was
you could
5
do really
points,
well. They got win the title.
Well, that's it. And you look at the other players in that team. Those other players are making up 5 points on the people around you. The players that can hurt. If you get into De Bruyne in that side, I don't think there's anyone really that can massively hurt your rank. Maybe Salah, if he starts and goes
crazy. The other
thing
is, I was chatting to Lee. I don't know if he's been in today or not, but I was chatting to him about my free hit draft, and he was like, "There's a lot of template players in there." I was like, "Yeah, but there's not a lot of teams that have all of these players in there."
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's a lot of players that have got De Bruyne, but then they don't have Spurs, or they've got Spurs, but they don't have De Bruyne, or they've got a Liverpool midfielder, but then they don't. So there's hardly anybody that's got
the collective,
all of these in there together. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? So you look at ownership of them, and none of the ownerships look terrifying. None of them look like they're going to kill you. But that's because you've covered all the bases. So I think in part with a free hit this week, there's not going to be that many of them because most people have spent their free hit chip already. So if you are free hitting like I am this week, I don't think there is anything wrong with targeting those big teams and those big players, because if they all come in, then you're easily in the top 1K. I mean, I'm not, but you are. And you've covered those. You've covered those teams, and I don't think there's many normal managers with normal teams that are going to manage to get all of those big premiums.
Well, no, because that's why the free hit is, to have the free hit on 38. I think it's the only time in which I think you can actually be a bit kind of tactical and look at the EO and try and cover those bases. So I think, given that De Bruyne's a bit more money than Vardy, you probably need to free up some funds. I think I might even consider dropping Trent down to Robertson and then getting De Bruyne over Vardy. I just think that team pretty much guarantees you a top one. Well, I mean, nothing's a guarantee, obviously.
There's no dead wood in it.
It should get you in the top 1K.
I'd be very surprised if a team of Schmeichel, Robertson, Cancelo, Alonso, Mount, Maddison, Diaz, Son, and Kane and De Bruyne didn't get you a green arrow, and all you need is a green arrow because then you're in.
And Captain Son,
and you're in. That's what I'd do.
I don't know if I go double Leicester though. I do think Vardy's actually as likely to start as Maddison, knowing Maddison's been getting 90.
That's what I mean. You keep Maddison and you go De Bruyne over Vardy. That's what I'm saying.
Well, but Sessegnon is the one that hasn't been mentioned. I know if we take ownership out of it, I actually prefer Sessegnon to the Chelsea fullbacks only because I don't know if the Chelsea fullbacks are starting. Like, obviously, I'd prefer Reece James if we knew he was getting 90, but we don't. Sessegnon is getting 90.
You go James or Alonso for cover, and Sessegnon's cheap enough to have his first sub 4-3.
Nice, yeah.
And he just comes in.
True.
You cover yourself. This is it. This is what I mean. If you're that close to the top 1K, I think you can be tactical, cover these players.
Yeah.
And then you've got cheap options on your bench that can come in. You're in a great position, Varun. I'd be very surprised if you didn't end up in the top 1K.
Stick a Richarlison on your bench if you can afford it. I know you probably can't. Shame.
Yeah. Awesome. Guys, that is it. We've done an hour and 15. I've got team news to prep for. That's probably going to be late because I haven't got time enough to
That'll
do
be
that.
interesting with all the Spurs stuff flying around.
Yeah, that's going to be another long show. I need to get some food as well. I'm starving. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Thanks everyone for all your super chats and all your support this season with the Q&A streams. We'll be back, of course, next season. with these. Hopefully we've helped some people out. Hopefully if you've been listening, you've enjoyed it and you've got some help for your own teams as well. But good luck in Gameweek 38, and we will see you next season. What a weird thing to say.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.